Yo, hello everybody, welcome back. I got a crazy build for you guys today. This is gonna be a huge DPS build for you guys, and this is gonna be the return of the Predator's Mark, at least for me. This is my first Predator's Mark build that I made for the Division 2. So right from the bat, I gotta tell you guys, this build has potential for an insane amount of damage. As you see in the footage, I can melt the NPCs, I can destroy NPCs from red, purple and yellow with one clip, and that can go on a kill spree once you do it right. And honestly, I know this build is called the Predator's Mark and everybody's gonna be thinking about this is a build of a status effect. Well, true, you need status effect for this build to work properly, but this is not a build that you're gonna be doing damage with your status effect, but instead you're doing damage with your gun using the status effect. And now I will explain that more as we go. This build, honestly, I never did it before, right? The ongoing directive is a gear set that's been for a while, right, in the Division 2. Now I never really found a way to make this build with the changes with this new Untitled Day10. I give it a try, and honestly I had to do about 4 type of builds with ongoing directive until I got to this point where I like it, and I think this is the final point how I want this build, because it just shreds and I love the way it works. So ongoing directive is a gear set that once you equip 2 pieces, it will give you 15% status effect, 3 pieces gives you 30% reload speed, which is quite good. I like that. And then 4 pieces, this is the whole gear set. So killing a status effect enemy, right, grants hollow point ammo for your active weapon. So that's why we need status effect for this build. That's the only reason we need status effect for this build, to get that hollow point. Now, why we want that hollow point? So hollow point ammo amplifies your damage, right, for 20% and applies bleed on hit. So it will apply the bleed on hit and it will amplify your damage by 20% when you have that hollow point on your weapon, right? Now every gear set also have a talent on the chest piece and on the backpack. So I am only using the chest piece for the extra talent, and I will explain why I'm not using the backpack. So let's go over the chest piece. So the chest piece have the this talent that will increase hollow point ammo weapon damage amplification to 35%. So that's where the beauty of the chest piece, and instead of 20% we'll be doing a 35% amplified damage, and we're gonna be taking care of that, getting a lot of hollow points ammo, and I will explain why. Now going for the backpack, the talent on the backpack will be Trauma Specialist. Increase duration of your bleed status effect by 50% and all bleed damage done by 100%. Now here is where I say I do not need this backpack, because as I mentioned, I'm not doing damage with my status effect. I do not need my status effect to anything else other than just activate the damage that I need on my gun. So I did make a build with the backpack, right, to try it out, see how it works. The way I did it was like this. I put these on, and that's how I did it. Now it does work, but it doesn't have the most damage compared to the one that I just showed you before. So this one will work, and you have the NPCs on bleed for a longer time. That way you can kill them, because you need to kill the NPCs with a status effect to gain that hollow point. So it's a good way to go, but it's not the best for the highest damage. So the highest damage that I have, it's gonna be with this one, and also the ongoing directive all on the bottom. Now moving on, throughout the build we have 4 ongoing directive to activate the 4 piece, and also we have a Ferris Group AB and also a Vulcan and Ares. The way I'm going with the attributes and core attribute, I'm gonna go core attribute, weapon damage, and all of them. All of the 6 pieces have core attribute, weapon damage, and then the rest is going to be critical hit damage, critical hit chance. Now the way you go with the critical hit damage and critical hit chance is going to depend how much you need on your build. The way I go with it is when I'm close to like 60% critical hit chance, the rest I will just dump it on critical hit damage. On the build itself, for my weapon, right, the G36, I have 50% critical chance and 92% critical hit damage. which by the way I am missing a 12% critical damage on this build, which will put me over 100% critical damage once I have a better backpack. Now speaking of the backpack, we are using the Walker and Harry's backpack. The reason why I am going with this is because one, it gives you weapon damage on the first bonus, right, 5%, which is quite good, and then two is because it comes with all reds. I mean, has a potential to come with all reds. Mine does have a yellow, which is status effect. It's not bad for this build, the status effect, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for in there a 12% critical damage instead of that 9.5% status effect. So that's how I won my backpack, but for now this is doing the you know, the work is just fine for me. Now what's special about the backpack, you want to have this talent right here, Wicked. Applying a status effect, increase total weapon damage by 18% for 20 seconds, and as soon as you have your hollow point, one, you're gonna have 35% weapon damage as soon as you shoot with that hollow point, and also once you shoot it, you're gonna activate Wicked, so you're gonna activate 35% amplified damage and 18% weapon damage on the backpack, and then you have the damage that you're gonna get from the gun talent also, which we'll be talking in a minute. Now on the Wicked, I know a lot of people might ask why not going with the perfect Wicked. Well, I'll show you why. Remember, I'm talking about having as much damage as possible. I am doing damage with my gun, not with status effect. So perfect Wicked comes on the golden brand set, right? So if I equip the golden gear set, I'm gonna get 10% status effect, right? But I'm gonna miss a 5% weapon damage from Walker and Harry's, so that's a loss. And then the core attribute becomes armor. I do not need more armor, so I'm gonna miss 15% weapon damage from the core attribute, right? And then you have also a yellow mod slot, so you see we're missing a lot of damage in there, all unnecessary stuff for this build. So for the mask, I am using my famous mask, which is the Ferris Group AB mask. 10% assault rifle damage because we're using an AR, and it comes with core attribute, max out everything with a mod of 6% critical chance, which is max also. Which, speaking of assault rifle, let's go for the guns. So the guns, and the start of the show is gonna be my military G36. So this G36, actually it's a gun that I've been waiting for to use it, right? Because I have it for a while, I think, but I never used it. So my G36 has 12, 17 and 10 on the damage to target out of cover, which is the damage that I recommend on the attributes. And then on the talent, it has a talent Sadist. Deal 20% weapon damage to bleeding enemies. After 4 kills, applies bleed to the next enemy you hit. So we're getting 35% weapon damage amplified from the chest piece, 18 from the backpack, and 20 from the gun itself after we activate that bleed, that status effect. So you can see with that hollow point, it's gonna give us a lot of damage overall. Now speaking of Sadist, I know there is a name item out there, which is a name LMG that has the perfect Sadist, which will be doing a 25% weapon damage to bleeding enemies. Now I am just going with the AR because I want it, right? I prefer the ARs. If you want to go with the LMGs, all right, I got you. What you gotta do, right, is take this mask, right, and put a ongoing directives on the mask, and go on the gloves and use these gloves right here, which is the contractor gloves, and that's it. You have a LMG build. I'm not gonna do that. I want to go with AR, so that's why I'm going with this. Now to finish it off, let's talk about the skills. There is one skill in here that you can use. I am not using it, but definitely goes really well on this build because it will activate the hollow point, which is the hive, the stinger hive. That's it. So all you gotta do is throw that stinger hive in there on the beginning of the fight, and then once you kill the enemy that has that bleed effect, and that's it, you have the hollow point. Honestly, after that you don't really need the stinger hive anymore, but yeah, you can use it if you want. I am not, it doesn't really matter for me, but yeah, that's the only skill that I will recommend on this build, even though I am not using it, but that's the only skill I recommend. Everything else, go with whatever you want. And yeah guys, that's the build. Honestly, I was not expecting this much damage on this build. After I put everything together, I was impressed how much damage I was doing with the G36. This gun was shredding the NPC so fast. I was getting close to 700,000 per crit, and I was just amazed by it, right? So with a little bit more farming, once I get that 12% critical damage on my backpack, I am sure I'm gonna be over 700,000 crits for this build, which is an insane amount of damage for a G36 though. And it shoots fast, 750 RPM. So yeah guys, this is my Predators build for Division 2 for Untitled Day 10. I used this build to farm the control points today, and I was just having a blast. So let me know what you guys think of this. Are you guys gonna try it out? If you try it out, let me know how it works for you. And if you enjoyed the video, man, hit me with a like. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more Division 2 content and more to come. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.